You going to bed, rookie? Oh, well, I ran an ad by accident, so I figured I'd give y'all time to come back after the ad. We're going to switch over to Reddit here and read some Reddit. I watched The Continental last night. The John Wick show that came out on Peacock not that long ago. It was fine. It wasn't a John Wick movie. It wasn't as entertaining as a John Wick movie, but it was fine. It was a little boring at times, to be honest. It was a bit dull, I gotta be honest. Katie wasn't in it nearly enough to make it worth my time. But it was only like 4 hours worth of stuff, so I was like, I'll watch it. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff happens in the hotel in this. It's the origin story of Winston and like his ownership of the Continental. Yeah, it finished, and then I was like, that was fine. Definitely wouldn't rewatch it. Unlike the John Wick movies, I'll rewatch those anytime, any day. My new friend is quite a big fan of the John Wick movies, so I'm sure we'll end up rewatching them together at some point. Fuck. Alright. Let's jump into this first one. Okay. Alright. Am I the asshole for insisting on knowing what's going on in my daughter's life? I, 51 female, have a daughter who's 24. Has her own place, but sometimes she comes and stays at home for a day or two. Since my husband, 51, and I helped her buy the apartment, we share ownership. When my daughter was at work, her room at home was a bit messy. My husband and I hate anybody to be messy, so we went to clean it. I found birth control pills and condoms. Note, she doesn't have a boyfriend. We were confused. I called her, but she didn't answer, so we waited till she came home. We asked if she had a boyfriend, and she said she didn't, so we asked for an explanation, and she said, so you're asking me whether I'm having sex or not. I didn't like the transparency, especially given that we are her parents and not her group buddies. She thought it was a weird question, but she answered it anyway, and yes, she was having sex. We didn't like her doing stuff behind our back. She didn't even tell us about anything. She's 24. She doesn't have to tell you anything. As long as she's not doing it in your house, it's none of your business. The next day I went to the apartment to check on things. I heard a noise, so I knew she wasn't alone. There was a guy in there. They weren't even having a proper dinner, just stuff for quick consumption. She said she didn't know I was coming and introduced the guy and asked if I would like to eat something. I'm sure she doesn't even know this guy. She isn't dating anyone. And she was going to do something because it was obvious. The guy prepared himself. He smelled nice, well-groomed, well-dressed, and looked clean and vibrant. Okay. It was awkward, so I excused myself despite her insisting that I stay. The next day I told her to come home after work. We wanted to discuss all this. Discuss what? Her having a life? She came but didn't want to talk about anything because she thought it was ridiculous. Of course she didn't say it outright, but this was her intention. She wasn't even listening to us and excused herself. She wanted to get some stuff and leave to stay at her place. Excusing herself in the middle of us speaking to her was very inappropriate, so my husband was really mad and started scolding her harshly. We were mad about her having guys over without us knowing and getting protection without us knowing. It's none of your business. And she was mad about us, quote, having nothing better to do but check her sex life. Yeah. Yes, we are her parents. It's only natural for us to know what's going on in our kids' lives. The conversation brought up many things we didn't know, including that she had her first kiss when she was a teen, again behind our backs. She decided to cut it short, apologize, and leave. She didn't even bother to get her stuff. She just left. Well, I can't imagine why she wouldn't have come to tell you about her first kiss. You don't sound like overbearing parents at all. Yes, you're the asshole. Good God, lady, what's wrong with you? She's an adult. Leave her alone. Yes, you're the asshole. We're not talking about a 15-year-old here. We're talking about an adult woman who lives on her own. Literally none of this stuff is any of your business unless she decides it's something she wants you to know, period. Honestly, what you're doing is downright obsessive, creepy, and frankly bordering on stalking. Yeah. I hope this is fake, but either way, you're the asshole. Yeah. You're the asshole. Why are you stalking the sex life of your adult offspring who doesn't even live with you? Yeah. No, they didn't buy her a house. They helped buy the apartment. What are you talking about? So, stalking. You're talking about stalking. How? I'm her mother. So you told your mom about the first time you sucked dick? I know she's just clutching her pearls at this comment. For someone who's 51 years old, you're a massive dumbass. Yep. You're the asshole. I hope you enjoy having a low contact or no contact relationship with her in the near future. Like as soon as she can get out from under your oppressive, intrusive thumb. Future. The conversation brought up many things we didn't know, including that she had her first kiss when she was a teen, again behind our backs. Was she supposed to have her first kiss in front of you or something? You're the asshole. She's 24. Stop being silly. Yeah. This is some toxic parenting. Your daughter is an adult. Stop being weird and give her privacy. Don't show up unannounced. And also, what the fuck? Having sex behind your back? She's not in a relationship with you. Yeah. We don't invade her privacy. I didn't know she had someone around that day. I didn't feel the need to inform that I would be going because we also own the apartment with her. Her place is ours and ours is hers too. We go out of our way to give her privacy. We didn't even ask for keys, even though we are owners too, but we didn't appreciate being left in the dark. We don't invade her privacy, yet you show up unannounced and uninvited. Fuck off. Yeah. You keep talking about not being kept in the dark, but it doesn't defend anything you're saying. Stop arguing over this. This entire thread is people telling you that you are wrong and an asshole. You can respond like this as many times as you want. It doesn't change that you are a raging asshole whether you like it or not. They've only got 71 karma. That's funny. Because of all the downvotes from these comments that they keep leaving. I hope your daughter goes no contact with you and your husband. You'd both deserve it for your behavior. I've seen people saying that cutting off parents is an ungrateful behavior. Our daughter never forgets any favors. It isn't in her nature. I want to see the replies to that. OP, if you just admit you're a troll, we can all forgive you. It's not ungrateful when your parents are intrusive and inappropriate without respectful boundaries. True. Why isn't it showing? Oh, here we go. We aren't asking for every detail, just the general aspect of things. I'm certainly not asking for intimate details of my daughter's sex life. I'm not judging my child or insulting her. I put aside my own views and didn't try to enforce them any further because it wouldn't work on my adult girl, but we didn't appreciate not being told anything. We were just asking for general things, not every single detail. I didn't mean to invade her privacy. Telling your parents the general aspects of things in your life isn't a breach of privacy. Well, you're asking your adult daughter to tell you that she has casual sex on some sort of basis, like maybe not on a regular basis, but that she has casual sex with people she's not dating, and that's just not generally the type of things you talk about with your parents, especially once you're grown. So you know, like, it's none of your business what she does in her apartment. Again, like I said earlier, if she was having sex with people in your house, that would be different. It's your house, but it's her apartment, whether you help pay for it or not. My daughter never objected to us entering her room. She never said anything or complained about it, so it is fine. We were just asking about protection. It wasn't an investigation. We were just confused because we hadn't been told anything. I don't get how is checking up on her a bad thing. I didn't break her door down or barge in. Yeah, but when you found condoms in her room, you could have used your brain for 2 seconds and gone, my adult daughter with no boyfriend that I know of has condoms in her room. I assume that means she's having sex with somebody. End of story. You didn't need to bring it up to her. You didn't need to think about it any further than that. Because quite frankly, it's none of your business. We've always taught our kids to tell us everything. Clearly you haven't, because she didn't even tell you about her first kiss. So... oh, I get to be the 100th downvote. There is a reason why she didn't tell you, and this post is the reasoning behind that. You're her mother, not her friend, to deal with it. Based on your behavior, she stopped trusting you to tell you the truth a long time ago. 100% if this is real, OP deluded themselves into thinking their kids told them everything, when in reality, they probably were only told just enough. Yeah. Yeah, this. I always love when people ask a question and then get upset when the answer isn't what they want, right? You're arguing with everyone telling you that you did wrong. On top of that, you're being dismissive and passive-aggressive all over the place. The fact that you still want to accept that you did wrong says a lot about you. Maybe you should see a therapist about the situation. P.S. Start telling your daughter every time you're even remotely intimate or play with yourself. We both know that isn't going to happen. It doesn't matter how you raised her, it's her life. Parents' guide. Not get so rigid that they chase their kids away. She may never trust you again at all. Does your daughter not leave you in the dark for other details of her anatomy? Or does she give you all the updates about the regularity of her other bodily functions as well? Dearest mother, I pooped while weeing. It was medium, soft, large, and log-like. My urine was clear. Oh boy. Last text I received from my immediate family before I cut them out of my life a week later. Do you know what aunt's phone number is? Me texting mom. Do you know what aunt's phone number is? Fuck you. Wow, love you too, mom. Troublemaking piece of shit. I'm fixing to take your friend to court for harassment. I can't believe you would even ask me that. You crossed the line. I don't want to see you for a while. No son of mine would ever ask me that. Does she? I really don't care if she kicks you out now. Dad says he doesn't have a son. You are not my problem. Take your ass to a homeless shelter. Bye. If you cared one bit, you would. I am not your safety net. Trailer park manager sees you here at night in the park. You will go to jail. I removed you as living here, and you are not my problem. If you put in the time you have spent bothering me, you would have a job. That was the last time someone cussed me out. You tell stupid bitch go to hell. She wants to treat you as a child. Go ahead. Why? Around 3 o'clock. Can I have grandma's phone number? No. You know what you're doing, you manipulative piece of dog shit. You can't be my brother if you're asking for this stupid shit. For a phone number? Oh. You know that we hate aunt and that crossed the fucking line. You're trying to start drama. Okay. This was months ago, and I, 20 male, was fixing to get kicked out and had nowhere else to go. My mom, 40, and dad, 45, were letting me move back in with them. My friend, T, 56, asked them for my aunt's phone number, and they reacted like this in the photos. A couple days later, my dad called and told me to pack whatever I could into my book bag and duffel bag. They were going to pick me up and drop me off at the park when my mom got off work. T told me to pack everything from my closet into a bunch of garbage bags. After that, I had to wait 4 hours for them to pick me up. It felt like my stomach was nodding. When it became 5:30 p.m., they pulled up into the driveway. I just wanted to disappear. I put all my stuff in their trunk. Before I left, T gave her a hug because I thought that was the last time I'd see her. My parents and I drove to their house so they could put my stuff in the room that was mine. Dad berated me for causing drama on the way to the park, that I'd burned the bridge with my mother because I asked for my aunt's phone number. Son, what are you doing here? Interaction with the cop at the park. What are you doing here at this hour? Me, nothing, just waiting for a friend. You know you're not supposed to be here. Yes, sir. Are you homeless? Me, no, sir. I was just on my way to leaving. You have 10 minutes to leave. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't understand a single thing about this story. Yeah, I'm very confused. The longer it went, the more confusing it became. Yeah. Yeah, there is a gaping hole in the story as to why your parents are mad at your aunt and grandparents. Without that context, it's hard to gauge why the reaction they had was so out of place. Okay. Okay, doke. Am I the asshole for not baby-proofing my home? My friend and our 2-year-old son came to visit me last week. She's a single mom and we rarely see each other because we live far apart. I just moved into a bigger apartment, so they came to stay with me for a few days. Everything was fine at first. We had fun, and although I'm not good with kids, I tried my best. One morning we were all in the kitchen, my friend and I were making breakfast while the boy was playing with a toy on the floor. After a while, my friend left the room to take a call and was gone for a few minutes. I'm not used to having kids around, so I didn't think twice about leaving him alone when I left to go pee. My friend was just in the next room. The door was open too. I also had to walk to the living room to get to the bathroom, so she knew I was leaving him alone in there. When I came back, she was still on the phone explaining something to her coworker, and the kid was still in the kitchen. But when she came back, she noticed a bunch of photos on the floor. I'd put them up on my fridge with small magnets, so we started looking for those but didn't find any. Knowing how dangerous magnets can be for kids, we immediately tried to find out if he ate any, but he just started crying, so I drove us to an ER. My friend was panicking in the car and started yelling at me. Why do you even have tiny magnets in the first place? You should have told me about it before. Why did you leave them all alone? I was driving and tried to focus so I didn't answer her. Honestly, I just never thought about my fridge magnets being a hazard. All was fine in the end. He ate one magnet, but it wasn't a big deal as there wasn't any other ones. I was relieved and said, let's go home. I'll take down the other magnets and see what else I might have to baby-proof for the next few days. But my friend was still furious with me and demanded I drop them off at a hotel and bring her things because who knows what chemicals I have lying around within a child's reach. She can't take her eyes off of him for a second in that house. I tried to calm her down and reassure her nothing else was going to happen, and I'd keep a closer eye, but she refused. She just kept yelling at me. I dropped her off at a hotel and haven't heard from her since, until this morning. She called and said that she's disappointed that I didn't even apologize for putting her child in danger, that I don't care about his well-being because I don't like children. But I don't want him to die, obviously. And that I clearly was not even worried when it happened. I don't mind apologizing, but am I really the one to blame here? I never have kids around, and while I did remember to put detergent and cleaning supplies out of reach, I just didn't think about the magnets. I could have done more, and maybe I shouldn't have left him alone in the room, but she has done it too, and I just didn't consider it. No, you're not the asshole. It's not... They're at your house. You shouldn't have to baby-proof your house just because you have someone over occasionally. Not the asshole. Parents have to watch small children. They can never assume a place is baby-proofed. If they do, ask them to pay for it. Yeah. No, not their fault at all. Her guilty conscience is getting projected onto you, not the asshole. Yeah. Not the asshole. It's her responsibility to watch the kid. I don't demand people to baby-proof their houses when we come over. Even so, she should have said, this call might take a while. Could you keep an eye on him? And then you might not have left him alone. I fail to understand how the inability to watch her own child was now your fault. I've taken loads of calls and still was able to watch my kid, or specifically ask someone to watch them as I took a call. It's not that hard. True. She could have done a scan of the house to look for potential hazards in the first place. She knew OP didn't have a baby-proofed home at the start. Not the asshole. I have a friend that comes over with her toddler, and the first thing she does is a happy lap around the room to inspect anything that may be dangerous or fragile and puts it away. I don't mind. And B, she watches her toddler at all times. Her kid, her responsibility. Not the asshole. You don't have kids. Why would you baby-proof your home? It's a parent's job to check out the environment and watch their kid. Not the asshole. I have a toddler and a crawling baby. I don't expect people to baby-proof when I visit. I ask if I can move things as they become an issue, and I watch my kids because they're my kids, not your kid. Not really your problem to make sure you keep an eagle eye on them and stress yourself out. Yeah, people don't ask other people to baby-proof their homes just because they visit occasionally, because that's fucking rude. Alrighty, this sounds Juicy. Alright. Am I the asshole for accidentally telling my fiance I hate his sister and she won't be part of my wedding? Alright. Am I the asshole for accidentally telling my fiance that I hate his sister and she won't be part of the wedding? Okay. The situation is literally ridiculous, but this whole thing has caused almost nuclear warfare across the family. So I'm here to get a consensus. Throw away for privacy, even though there's a good chance my fiance will see it. I, 26 female, have been with my fiance Chris, 26 male, for 4 years now. He and his sister, 21 female, Lilac, are very close. They had a pretty traumatic childhood and always promised each other they'd be there no matter what. Lilac is a good sister to him, but as a person, truthfully, I can't stand her. She is literally the textbook definition of a bubbly blonde. She's overly charismatic, always giggling, and in general just acts too immature for my taste. She likes to pull pranks every once in a while on my fiance and he gets her back, but the whole ordeal just seems childish and obnoxious to me. Ever since we got engaged, I knew I didn't want her in my wedding party because that'd mean I'd have to spend time with her at my bachelorette and other parties. Fast forward to last night, and my fiance asks me when I plan on asking Lilac to be a bridesmaid. I got quiet and truthfully said I didn't plan on doing so. This upset him because he wants his sister to be part of the most important day of his life, and that if I didn't do it, he was going to make her a groomswoman to make sure she is included. Okay, he should do that then. I don't like the whole, like, idea that the groomsmen and the bridesmaids have to be one sex. Like, I think you should be allowed to put whoever the fuck you want in your like wedding party, you know. I can't lie, this set me off. I went off about how I want to feel respected by him and be able to enjoy my wedding day. He said he also wants to enjoy his day, which, to be fair, I understand. This is where I may be the asshole. I told him that I've always disliked his sister and wished he would just not include her for once on a day that isn't even about her. He got quiet and went into our guest room to be alone. A couple of minutes later, I got a text from Lilac that she completely respects my decision to not want her in the wedding party, but she's hurt to know what I feel about her. I didn't want her to find out at all, and now she's told his whole family about our argument. He's told the whole family. Half of them are attacking me, and half of them are saying it's my day, so I should be able to enjoy it. Honestly, this whole ordeal is stressful for no reason, because Lilac isn't even upset that I don't want her in my wedding party, yet the whole family is upset, and my fiance has been very short with me all day. Am I the asshole? Edit. Just because I hate her personality doesn't mean I'm mean to her. Being around her drains my social battery, but I've never been mean to her, nor did I want her to find out ever, especially in this way. I'm just super introverted and our personalities collide. I don't want her at my bachelorette party because I want to enjoy it fully and not feel anxious the whole time because the personification of a human firecracker is attending. I think that's fair. I think if he wants his sister to be part of his bridal party, of his like wedding party, then he can do that. But so I don't know why him making his sister a groomswoman would be an issue. If the main thing is the party part, you want the party part to be free of her. The wedding itself is not the party part, so I don't understand what the issue is there. Why he can't make her a groomswoman. It's not your fault if you don't gel with her. That's not up to you, you know? So I'm gonna say not the asshole. I think you could be the asshole for blowing up at him, but he's the asshole absolutely for reporting you to the whole fucking family for no real reason. Okay. Update. Alright. I am probably going to make this my only update for a while, if not ever. We talked this morning. Sorry for not posting it earlier. My Wi-Fi company has been giving me some issues. We are still not resolved. He doesn't just want her as a groomswoman, but wants to ask her to be the best woman. Best man, but as a woman. This is still not resolved because I'm not comfortable with that, and it's more stressful because the whole family has turned into flying monkeys because his sister is the apple of their eye. So they took what I said as a serious attack against her. I don't see why she can't be the best man. I don't understand why OP has an issue with that. If the main concern is just that she's draining. If she... Like... You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the point of preventing her from being part of the wedding at all. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe. A comment asked for clarification on how the sister is over involved in their lives and if she is usually included in activities that OP has with her fiance. The reply was quite often yes, they are pretty much attached at the hip. I feel I should add more context to that comment. He invites her over every Friday night and they do take out Mario Kart nights. Her rowdiness causes him to do the same, and it's hard to relax when you have two adults yelling at each other while playing video games. She also gets him going with the same annoying verbiage she uses. She tends to develop random catchphrases. He spends every Thursday and Sunday night at her place, so I don't know if they'd be willing to move. He spends every Thursday and Sunday night at her place, so I don't know if they'd be willing to move to her boyfriend and hers place 100%, but I should communicate that it bothers me. Why are you not comfortable with her being the best woman? I just want my wedding to be about me and my husband, not her, me and my husband. It'd be nice to see him prioritizing my feelings instead of hers for once, especially on our big day. Another update. He called me about 2 hours ago. He is currently staying at Lilacs and asked if we could talk. I obliged, and it was very difficult talk to say the least. I asked him to come home and he rejected. Firstly, he apologized for telling his family and said it was a rash mistake he made in the heat of the moment. That he said if I wasn't willing to have her as a bridesmaid, that it's unfair of me to ask him not to have her as the best woman, and that he is not willing to compromise his sister's role in our wedding. This made me cry and tell him that I'm tired of feeling second place next to another woman and that I was going to be his wife, so I wanted to feel like he had my back when I needed him. This really upset him, and he said that as Lilac's big brother, he is also supposed to have her back when she needs him, and she needs him now when the supposed love of his life is blindsiding him with the hurtful information about her. He told me that it was true. He does put Lilac first and he won't stop because he raised her. He said that he is willing to go to couples counseling, but first I need to apologize to Lilac for what I said and stop griping over the fact that he wants her as the best woman. The call was filled with lots of tears, and we finally decided to give it a rest and talk tomorrow so that we could both process what was going on. It's been a week, and I feel like I might be okay to do an update now, just not to waste anyone's time. Yes, me and Chris are no longer together. After our initial fight, he decided to stay with his sister, and through that, Lilac ended up reaching out to me and apologizing for ruining our relationship, / her family hounding me for what I said. She invited me out for brunch the following day so we could talk things over, and it went well. The conversation was very long, so I just wanted to include the important points. I apologized to her for taking out my feelings on her because he is the one who allows her to disrespect our relationship, and she apologized for not coming directly to me to make sure I wasn't uncomfortable about anything that she was doing. I also said that while what I said was true, it was harsh and I never wanted her to know how I felt. She told me I had nothing to apologize for and that she wasn't expecting me to like her, just be kind to her. She also told me that if the wedding did continue, she would stay out of both bride and groom sides out of respect for my wishes. Well, sounds like the sister's cool. Now, onto that, yes, I said at the beginning Chris and I are no longer a couple. He stayed with Lilac for most of the week and invited me out for dinner the other night. During dinner, I offered the prospect of postponing the wedding and seeking couples therapy. Firstly, he apologized for running off to his family during our argument. He denied couples counseling and said that while he will continue to do therapy to fix his trauma bond with his sister, it was not something he wanted to do with me. He said that even if he does completely heal himself, he wants someone in his life who loves his family, specifically his sister, as much as he does. He said he truly loves me, but that we were not the best match for each other. He told me I was more than welcome to keep the ring, and because our current home is under his name, he told me that he would give me 2 months to move out, and would be happy to extend it if I was having a hard time. That obviously hurt a lot, so I spent a lot of my time trying to heal and find an apartment. So yeah, that's the update. Well, at least the sister was understanding. Yeah, it just sounds like they weren't meant to be. It's true, though, that a lot of times wedding planning in and of itself can really show, like, it can really bring out the worst in people and can actually show where the biggest gaps in a relationship is, because wedding planning can be very stressful. So I don't know how this got this far. The wedding isn't the issue here. Her problem is the relationship. I don't think there's an objective answer to say whether they're too close, but clearly they're too close for OP, and I can't imagine why she thought that would change. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about this. I don't think OP went about this the right way, but as humans, we rarely do it right the first time. Knowing how close her ex and his sister are, it was never going to go down well about his sister not being part of the bridal party. But I understand why she feels that he prioritizes his sister over her. If he's spending Thursday, Friday, and Sundays with her, that's a significant portion of his free time just spent with his sister. If he's so anxious about her even when she's not around, and he cannot focus on OP, it's understandable why she resents his sister, and every little thing that annoys her becomes a bigger issue than it should be. Especially if OP and X were living together. I'd like my SO home a bit more often, just to help with general household things and not feel neglected. I also empathize with OP as an introvert. I don't think she actually hates OP's sister. I don't think she actually hates his sister, but they're just different personalities that don't vibe together, and that's okay. When you're around someone you're just not vibing with, it's exhausting to be polite and stay interested. But I wonder if OP had communicated earlier how she felt about it, would this situation have become more salvageable? Sounds like the ex and sister have significant trauma bonding, and it would be difficult for her ex to really recognize that once you start dating / planning a life with someone else, you need to make adjustments to your life for the other person. You don't have to cut people out or anything, but just readjust where your time is allocated. Yeah. My wife's family is very close. They went through some serious shit, and their relationships carried them through the worst of it. They all live no more than an hour away from anyone else. That said, I do not see her family 3 nights a week, every single week. OP was a third wheel in an extremely codependent relationship. This was going to come up one way or another. I'm glad it came out before the marriage. X was never going to be the devoted husband OP wanted. OP was always going to come second. Her delivery was awful, but it was a talk they needed to have sooner or later. Yep. On the surface, OP seemed like an asshole, but I don't think it's that simple. Sounds like years of being second choice got to her, and she just wanted one day where she felt like she was the priority. I kinda get it. If she had communicated her pain and frustration earlier in a way that didn't come off as attacking the sister, they may have been able to work through it. Yeah. Yeah, at a certain point, who's the asshole doesn't really matter at all. It wasn't working, and it wasn't going to work because the two partners had different priorities, and their needs weren't going to be fairly compromised on. Oh. Not the asshole. Alright, we gotta pay revenge. Petty revenge. We're probably gonna call it in about 20 minutes. I need to take a nap. Get this motion sickness out of my system. All right. Tried to get me fired. Enjoy the end of your law career. I am John. I worked in a pizza shop back when I was in college. I worked with Sarah, who was a vindictive lady who would stir up a lot of drama. Sarah would pick a target and then bully them into quitting. Where I'm at, college students can receive welfare if their parents earn less than a certain threshold. I was ineligible for student support due to my parents' income, even though they didn't support me, and I desperately needed this job. Matt, a new hire, quit after Sarah's harassment. Sarah's attention then turned to me. Sarah would approach my supervisor and spout bullshit like, "Hey, Mr. Supervisor, I asked John where the snake is, and he said the snake is cutting pizzas." This while supervisor was actually cutting pizzas. She would shout at me with extreme hostility. She wouldn't warn me if pans were hot, a major sin in the kitchen jobs. She conspired with her friends to accuse me of slacking off, even though they'd never complained about me until Matt quit. This took a toll on me. My hours were cut, impacting both my financial and mental well-being. I even considered dropping out of college because I was struggling to afford rent. Sarah was illegally claiming student welfare despite being employed by the pizza shop. You can only claim the welfare if you are unemployed. Sarah, in the first year of her law degree, was also aspiring to become a lawyer. The thing about being a lawyer is that you need to be admitted to the bar to begin practicing. The law industry is very strict. Even proven allegations of plagiarism in college would make one permanently ineligible to become a lawyer. Frankly, she was stupid for defrauding the government. There is an anonymous complaints line for welfare fraud. Most of the time, the welfare department never follows up. Occasionally, however, they would send officials to investigate. This was one of those few times they followed up. I sent an anonymous tip stating the business, her schedule, her name, and her number. I was on shift when some of the officials from the welfare department came in, informing us that multiple complaints were made against Sarah. I think my boss could have just told them to scram since they probably didn't have a warrant, but instead of doing that, he licked their shoes, showing them all of the CCTV footage. The officials then questioned Sarah. She panicked, confessing to everything. I felt no sympathy for her. As a law student, she should have known to remain silent. Long story short, Sarah received a suspended sentence, which would most certainly disqualify her from becoming a lawyer. She dropped out of college, while I continued to work at the pizza shop and eventually graduated with an associate's. I have an alright job now. We love to see it. She was messing with people's livelihoods, doing something she knew was illegal while studying law and receiving welfare that should have gone to others. I have no sympathy for her, right? When you're one whistleblower away from being caught, the sensible thing to do is not antagonize people. Guess her brain was as shitty as her attitude. What you did was a public service, 11 out of 10. We love to see it. Am I the asshole for raising my voice when telling my sister to drop the subject of what me and my wife are going to name our son? Alright, my wife is pregnant with our first child. 2 weeks ago, we found out that she's having a boy. Years ago, my wife lost someone who was very important to her, and she wants to name our son in his honor. She's always wanted to call her son by her loved one's middle name. When me and my wife told people our son's name, one of my sisters said we can't use that name and have to pick another. She has a hobby where she snarks on people online. The people aren't famous or well known. The people my sister snarks on might be famous to a small percentage of the population, but most people don't know them. One of them is an American family who used to have a TV show because the parents had like 20-something children. One of the sons is in jail now for horrific, disgusting crimes. He has the same name as we are giving our son, and according to my sister, we can't use it because of that. It's not like we're naming our son Adolf or something. We're naming him Joshua. It's a completely normal name, and while the family his sister was talking about might be more well known in America, most people here aren't going to know who they are. And even still, even in America, no one gives a shit. No one's gonna associate. It's not like you're naming your child after him, you know. It's a completely normal name, and while the family my sister was talking about might be more well known in America, most people here aren't going to know who they are. No one is going to associate our son with him. Unless someone has a completely made up first name, there will definitely be infamous or criminal people with that name. Even my sister's name matches more than one criminal and murderer when I search, and I told her that. She says that's different. She said we should change it to my wife's loved one's first name instead of his middle name, even though my wife doesn't want our son to have all the pressure of everyone associating his name with a dead person. She prefers using the middle name, which is fair. I appreciate that. It's always weird when people name their kids after a dead person. It's so weird. I told her nicely but firmly that she has no say in what me and my wife name our son. I thought that would be the end of it, but she keeps talking about it with other people. The last straw was when she went to my wife about it. We live a few hours away from my family, and while my sister and my wife get along, they are not close enough that it's appropriate for my sister to start messaging and emailing her about choosing a new name. After I found out she was bothering my wife, I told her in no uncertain terms to drop the subject, and that led to an argument. I haven't told anyone about the argument besides my wife, but just like with the complaint about the baby names, my sister has been telling other people that I yelled at her and made her cry. I'm not asking for opinions on our son's names because that is staying and no one besides my sister cares or wants us to change it. They are just upset that I raised my voice. That's what this is about. I am asking if I am the asshole for arguing with my sister and telling her to drop it. Some people are saying that I am being too hard on her, not for the name calling thing, but because I should not have yelled. I admit I did raise my voice during our phone call. I tried to be calm, but when she said she had to convince my wife because she can't have her nephew sharing a name with the other guy, I did get angry and I did talk louder than normal. At no point did I threaten, call names, etc., but I did raise my voice. I want to know if am I the asshole because my sister has people on her side. No, you're not the asshole. What the fuck? I'm in America and I did not immediately associate Joshua with the pedo guy. I like that name, not the asshole for telling her she has lost her damn mind and to mind her own business. To be petty, Google famous Joshuas and send her a list of all the positive people associated with that name. Yeah. I'm from Wisconsin and there isn't even a ban on the name Jeffrey here, so OP going off on his sister about Joshua, who isn't a serial killer, was justified, not the asshole. Your sister is completely engrossed in things that matter to absolutely no one but her. She definitely has some mental health issues if she's gathering support for this nonsense. Joshua is a great name. Congrats on the new baby. She sounds like someone who is online too often and now thinks the real world is like it is on the internet. Clearly, she doesn't. Yeah, it's been in the top 100 baby names since the 70s. It's 2021. In 2021, it was the 58th most used baby name. Your sister sounds ridiculous and exhausting. I think she needs a new hobby. Yeah. It's not even like a rare name. Like Josh is such a common name. Ooh, Tales from Retail. All right, this one is called I Would Hate to Be Your Husband. This is OP with the bank's fraud department. How can I help you? I'm at a casino and I don't get why my card isn't working. This is my third call tonight. It's my money and I need it now. I see the fraud alert has already been cleared out. Were you still getting declined? Yes, I am, and I'm not getting any texts or emails. I work for a different bank, and I know that's supposed to happen, so your bank isn't doing its fucking job. Looks up reason for decline. Looks like you're getting declined because you've exceeded the number of declines for one day. Let me go ahead and reset that. Give it about 60 seconds, and you can try again. Transaction declined. What the fuck is your problem? I actually left the casino and drove out to find one of your ATMs because it wasn't working there. I'm trying to get $1,000 so I can gamble at the casino. What's the fucking problem here? Dude. Why are you gambling? Stop. Checks decline reason again. It says the amount exceeds your daily limit. I'm showing that you have a daily ATM withdrawal limit of $500 per day. What? Are you fucking serious? I can't survive a single day only being able to withdraw $500 from the ATM. You've given me so many fucking different answers. I'm changing banks. Click. Sounds like this person has a have a gambling addiction. Sleep well, Jimmy. I might see you tomorrow. I might not. I'll let y'all know. I apparently had the opposite problem for over a decade. My account limits were so high, they were scaring bank employees. I'd go in to deposit a check in my old credit union fund money account, and after a short interlude of, can you come here and look at this, from the teller to their coworkers, I'd get treated like a king, and the questionable out-of-state personal check I was depositing cleared instantly. See, I'd Once asked a branch manager if there was a limit on debit card transactions. I was about to buy some new appliances. They run about 10,000-ish, and well, I'd rather not have my card decline. She turned to her PC, typed away for a while, and told me not to worry about it. I learned last December from a different branch manager that what she'd done was disable most of my account limits by setting them to the highest number she could enter. Tellers were acting weird because they were seeing working class me with a $71 current balance, but the account limit was set to $99,999. Oh yeah, hell yeah, I had them fix it. One of the 9,099s was my overdraft limit. Just imagine if I'd been mugged in the last decade and the assholes had figured out my debit card was an unending fountain of money. Everything's now more sensible and overdraft is now totally off. They do still take my questionable out-of-state personal checks without a hold, which is nice. That's funny. Yeah, we usually do. It's like it's a safety thing. So like if your shit gets stolen, they can't like take out everything you could possibly, like they can't like ruin you forever. So ooh, facts happened. Vaccines do not cause SIDS, and you know this because the data shows this. The data shows there was no diphtheria in the US, almost no tetanus cases, and no one dies from the measles. Your chance of getting diphtheria or tetanus in the US. Yeah, it's because everyone's fucking vaccinated against it, babes. I wonder how those numbers got so good. I guess we'll never know. Oh, of course it does. Absolutely it does. We're all poor as fuck here, too. Not today. I haven't messaged Max today. Well, I mean, technically I have. I sent Max a text when I woke up, but we haven't, like, back and forth yet. This is from r/stories. You can always message Max on Discord. You can always add them in the Discord. That works too. A teacher at my school now thinks I'm ableist towards myself. It's exactly how it sounds, but I'll elaborate. I, 14, am autistic, and though I don't appear so from years of practice, people/my friends at school do know. I've never received any shit about it, and my friends are supportive, making funny jokes that I appreciate because it signifies they're comfortable enough around me to laugh about stuff like that. I've never taken any offense. Teachers have to know. In the UK, it's classed as special education needs, so it's necessary for them to be aware of, and the school has made some accommodations for me. But a few days ago, this all went a bit haywire. My friend and I were in English having a conversation and not really paying attention when she said something about me being autistic, and I jokingly replied, "What do you mean? I can never be anything of the sort." And the teacher heard and went slightly pale. She asked me to stay behind after the lesson and told me that I had to be careful about what I said. I asked her to explain. She said that the school's policy had no exception for ableist discrimination. I replied that I hadn't said anything discriminatory, and I also reminded her that I wasn't neurotypical anyway. She raised her voice and sternly told me that the other day I had to stop an Asian student from being racist to Asians as he made a self-deprecating pun towards his own race. I was so confused, I asked her why she had taken it upon herself to simultaneously be the savior of the entire autistic community and the entire Asian community from their own members. She did not take well to this and wrote me up for it. That's funny. How do I get Discord running without my authenticator? Oh, I don't know. Your teacher thinks they're the hero of the people. It's become more common these days. My upper middle class, born, green-haired high school pal I forgot I grew up impoverished on a Native American reservation, ripe with trauma. He then told me I wouldn't understand his plight due to my white privilege. I did the thing where you clear your throat quietly and then let him piece it all together. His response was, "Well, I'm doing it for people like you." I just thanked him for being the voice I never needed and told him to go find someone else to champion to feel good about himself. Will do. I'll let them know next time I speak to them. Oh, this should be good. Oh my god. That's so long. The family chat. Mom. "Oh, poor James. My son. My son. In the name of Jesus, please open his eyes. Jesus, please take control of his mind and don't let James being taken advantage of. What they did to you. Put you in a skirt and long hair and this is happiness? Jesus, you created James so beautifully and put him in our family as a boy and have a twin sister, Mary Jane. They've been a blessing to us. Now James is in Sodoma. Jesus, you love James because you died on the cross for him. You promised him you will bring James back through a miracle. You will restore his mind and he will love you, Lord. You conquered for the cross for him. You died loving James. In Jesus' name, in your power and authority, please open James's eyes." Praise emoji, praise emoji, praise emoji. Sad, 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 sad. Your power is above all, Jesus. Satan is defeated forever. We love you, Lord. We praise you, Lord Jesus. Do these people not understand how fucking insane they sound? It cracks me up. Oh god, there's more. Dear god, there's more. James, this is not your writing. You know what is going to happen to them. God Almighty will judge this people. You son, come and think about, I'm still paying your bills, and remember you told me they are dying of hunger. You lost weight. You have the freedom to choose, not them. I know inside you, you know who you are. God help us. God, these sentences are hard to read. I didn't give you money to feed them, bought a car for you that you can run to them. But most of all, they are responsible, putting that burden that flags on you. Like Jesus said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't let you stay in the closet. Dad said, James, don't have the father of lies lecture as about the Bible. 1 Corinthians 6:9-20 will inherit the kingdom of God. No sui maggot will get in heaven. I wonder if that's supposed to be a slur. If you did not see my last post, James is my dead name. I go by Leah now. I am in college, living on campus, to toss that out there. Thanks for all the awesome comments from my last post. It means a lot to me. I had an extremely rough summer where I almost had to camp in my car if things didn't go to plan with college housing. On top of my car blowing up and ultimately forcing my hand to make a deal with my parents to help me get a car, I somehow haven't gone hungry due to financial stuff. The only thing I ever complained to my mom about is sometimes campus dining is straight up terrible, making it hard for me to eat. I lost lots of weight due to the fact of just getting over a bad eating issue where it was a huge struggle to find one meal. Now, have completely overcome that hurdle. I also have been making headway in terms of my financial situation. Now having 2 jobs, hopefully things can stabilize and I can take over car payments. I knew this is how my parents were going to respond, just had to say something in the hopes of ending the bad nightmares I was having. Even though I never raised my voice to my parents, in my nightmares, I would go into a full-on shouting match with them. Sorry for a bit of a read, but I hope this gives a tiny bit of insight into me. Do you think Jesus and God keep a log of the heinous shit Christian parents say to their kids? I bet they scroll through the texts like we do and cringe just as hard, but they take notes. I'm sorry you had to deal with this. If it were me, I'd be tempted to respond with, I have absolutely no idea what on earth you're talking about. What that wall of text was complete nonsense. Yeah, I'm just letting them stew in their own hatred. I don't feel like it's productive to respond to this mess. You're right, not responding is often the smarter choice, but the temptation to be sassy is always there. Alrighty, that's gonna do it for me for today and maybe for this week. I don't know if I will be live tomorrow or not. I haven't decided yet, as I have things I need to get done that I wasn't able to do last week, and I have MET on Wednesday, so there won't be any Wednesday stream because I have work and it's gross. I enjoyed Spooky Game today. If you missed any of it, the VOD will be up soon. And I hope you all have a great week, if I don't see you again this week. Alrighty, y'all. Bye-bye.